Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is war. As you know, Terry Bennett has now said that the red horse has been released. And Byron Surley says, I think it's like the first 4 horses been released. Vicky Goforth Parnell says the first 5 or 6. I need to check on that to see. But the point is, we have 3 people that have definitely said that the red horse has been released. Now, if we are watching closely our news, that's not a surprise. We know almost for certain it has. But first of all, let me just start with a really, really big thank you. I think you've heard me say, I feel like nobody's listening. I guess it's always been that way with me, and I guess until the masses really start listening to the last day's warning, which, of course, as you know, is probably not going to happen until something really big and bad hits, I'll always feel like no one's listening. And my wife, Leslie, keeps saying, look, you should not think no one's listening to you. Stan, a lot of people do listen to you. A lot of people really love you and love your message. Well, you have shown that the last 48 hours. I have, frankly, been shocked and humbled by how not only you have sent your financial support, but many of you put some very encouraging sentences attached to your donation. And, you know, it's easy to say, I appreciate you. But when you've attached a pretty nice donation, and we got some really nice ones, all of them are very, very nice. And frankly, I'm humbled. I mean, I have to say thank you. I have to say thank you because I think you've got us out of a jam. I remember in my prayer closet that night, the Lord said, this is my problem. You got into problems because of your giving. You did what I told you to do, and now I am going to solve it. I am going to lay in the hearts of those people that I want to bless to give. And those people that do give, I'm going to bless them powerfully. And yes, your gifts have come in from all directions. I've been frankly shocked. And if you haven't heard this, then you still want to give, then that would be wonderful. But I first want to say a really, really big thank you. I wish I could reach right through the camera and give you a big old hug. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have helped us at a time that we really needed it. I guess just this morning, as we were waking up, I detected Leslie was waking up, and I said, we need to talk. And so we went into the kitchen table, and I finally laid it out to her, and I said, okay, we have to really watch our spending. I mean, we have to really watch our spending. The Lord has dug us out of a hole, but it's only brought us up to even. We don't have any extra. So I just want to let you know, God did something really, really big and powerful for us. But I say all of that to say thank you, and thank you to the Lord. It's His hand. He did it. And I give Him all the praise and the honor and the glory. And one of these days, you are going to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Okay, next thing is, so we ask you to click subscribe. I have been asked to do this by our new media manager that says, you don't ever ask people to subscribe. You need to ask them to do that, because then that will tell the algorithms to send us out that more people want to hear what you're saying. So I'm asking you to click subscribe. I'm also inviting you to our Friday night Bible study, and that's every Friday night. That is if I'm in town, and that's most of the time I am, from 6:38 p.m. Central Time. And it's not just on prophecy. We read the Bible. We got through 6 chapters of the Bible this past Friday night, and people say, well, what can you listen to it on? Well, just about all of the platforms. And if it's not on your favorite platform, email me and let us know about your favorite platform. We'll try to get it on there. It might not always be live, but we will turn around and then post it as soon as we possibly can. All right, so our topic today is war. Oh, here, one more thing. So I guess I may as well tell you about this too. Kind of talking my heart again today. So this was probably a week ago. Leslie was out of town, and it gave me a really good opportunity to dig out my book, where I wrote out the book of Revelation when I memorized it, and I was going through refreshing my memory, because as an old guy, 69, you got to do that. So I was refreshing my memory, and I just closed my eyes. I'm not going to get emotional. I didn't used to be very emotional until I memorized the book of Revelation, and I got the spirit of prophecy, and Leslie says that was the biggest change in my life, because I became a more emotional person. It changed me in lots and lots of ways. Anyway, which, by the way, when you come to the Watchmen's Conference, which I'm about to talk about, I'm going to anoint you with oil and pray that you receive that same spirit of prophecy. He told me he had given me the gift, but he also told me I can lay hands on people and anoint them with oil and pass on that gift of the spirit of prophecy to be able to understand and teach Bible prophecy. So anyway, I was refreshing my memory, and I just closed my eyes and just in my heart, okay, not where the devil can hear it, but just in my heart, and I said, Lord, would it be right in your eyes to do another? And I don't even know if I got it all out. Watchmen's Conference, and immediately he touched me, and like, oh, okay. I mean, I want to do it, but it's a lot of work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do Watchmen's Conference Level 2. Now, I'm sorry, I would like to make these real easy for you, but they're just not. It's just going to get more difficult, and I understand maybe not as many people will show up. But the point is not getting a whole lot of people to show up. The point is those that do show up get what the eyes of God wants them to get. So we're having a teacher's course. Level 2 is primarily to get you ready for really level 3, because by the time we get level 3 in you, most any pastor should have no problem inviting you in to teach the book of Revelation. That's where we're going. So it's qualifying you. And I don't mean standing qualifications. Who cares who Stan is? I'm talking about the qualifications and hearts of most of the pastors out there. When they hear what you have been through, they will know. You know your stuff. They might not like it, but if they like the Bible, and they should, then they will like what you bring to them. So here's what we're doing. You can see the dates, September 15, 16, and I'm going to give everybody the anointing to the gift of Revelation. You can go to prophecyclub.com and you can read more about it. But one of the things I'm going to ask for level 2, this very next time, I'm going to ask you to memorize Revelation 13. Now, it's just one chapter, not that big a deal, but I'm going to ask you to memorize that chapter, because that's a foundational chapter for us to stack all of the other prophecies on top of if you want to understand it. Then, 1 year later, approximately, we're going to have level 3. And I'm going to tell you right now the assignment for level 3, because it'll take you a year to get ready for it. And I'm asking you for level 3, which is about a year and a half from now, to memorize the book of Revelation, the King James, of course, to memorize it. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. Yeah, but I mean, I don't have the time. Yes, you do. I'm going to help you to learn to memorize it. That's why I'm asking you to memorize the 13th chapter of Revelation now for level 2. But let's look down the road. Once you have memorized the book of Revelation, if a pastor wants his flock to know about the book of Revelation, and you can tell him and prove to him or her that you have memorized the book of Revelation, you will have that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to invite you in, but we believe as some of these troubles start hitting, there'll be a lot of pastors, a lot of churches start wanting people in there teaching them. And it may be that they call our office, and I want to be able to have a list of people to send out to churches, once the churches start realizing they do need this prophecy stuff, a list of people that are qualified, been through level 1, 2, and 3, that we can send out and know that they know what they're talking about teaching the book of Revelation. Go to prophecyclub.com. I talked way too long about that. Let me get on to our topic today. Yes, it's going to cover difficult questions. I'll ask you to pause and read. It tells you all about that, prophecyclub.com. So, as I said the other day, this is from Terry Bennett, just a brief refresher. He said, I saw the Lord enter his room, and he was leading a red horse by the reins. The red horse was under the control of the Lord Jesus, of course. And the red horse said, you don't see me now, but you're going to start seeing my effects, essentially. In other words, he's saying the red horse has been released. So what does the red horse do? And there went out another horse that was red. And power is given him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and to him is given a great sword. And that great sword is probably a great military, my guess is, some kind of devastating technology that we have not seen yet. If you go into Daniel chapter 2, it says that the earth was as the Garden of Eden before and is basically a scorched earth afterwards. So there's some kind of new technology that has been given to somebody, and the red horse is going to use it to kill a lot of people. That's the reason I say people don't want to hear about Bible prophecy right now. They want to have a good time. But that's soon to change. Matter of fact, the Lord told me 20 years ago that the day would arrive that the number one topic on the planet, all people, nations, and languages, would be Bible prophecy, Christian Bible prophecy. Because they begin to see the prophecies that were written 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, now all of a sudden have come to pass today. And I think that we'll see people of other gods say, come in. We want you to teach us. We hear about this book of Revelation, or we hear about this Bible, and it's saying things that are coming to pass. We want you to come and teach us and tell us about it. Well, there you go. That all ties together. Okay, here we go. Headline, China expands wartime military draft to include veterans and college students. Okay, if you were planning on a war, what would you do? You would pull up military-age men from your nation, get them trained, put a gun in their hand, whatever that weapon might be, and get them ready to go to war. So that tells us the red horse has been released. Here's another one. Massive numbers of military-age Chinese men lining up in Panama to illegally cross into the United States. Do you think China is stupid? I don't. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump, here a week ago or so on Tucker Carlson, said when he met Xi Jinping, he said he's extremely smart. If China is smart, and if the leaders of China are smart, we believe they are, what they're really doing is they're sending military-age men, unarmed, but they give them a cell phone, and at the right time they show up in the right place, out in the middle of nowhere, and they start getting training. They start getting all of these, maybe they're already trained, and they start arming these people to fight America from within. Why? Because America has turned from the law of our God. Massive lines of military-age men from China lining up in Panama, headed for the United States through our open southern border. This is an invasion that the president is not stopping. Thousands of military-age Chinese men crossing into the United States. Look, if they come in illegally, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to continue to ignore our laws. If they were coming lawfully, he says, they wouldn't be doing this in Panama. They are coming in to kill, steal, and destroy. Next article. U.S. warship sails through Taiwan Strait days after Chinese does big war drills. So it says, days after Beijing staged war drills around the self-ruled island, the USS Milius guided missile destroyer conducted a routine Taiwan Strait transit. In other words, China is throwing a shot across the bow at America, saying, we are running war drills all around Taiwan. So what does America do? We float a guided missile destroyer right up in their face, saying, go ahead. Go ahead. Start a war. Attack us. Now, why? Is the leadership in America trying to get us in trouble? Are they trying to kill Americans? Now, most people, I guarantee you, would say, "Oh, no. I mean, our leadership's not trying to get us into a war." I'm going to say, yes, they are. You have to understand their goal is not to have a wonderful, happy, prosperous neighborhood or a prosperous nation. Their goal, these evil people in high places, their goal is to put their man, the Antichrist, on the throne. And they know that the thing that's holding it back is the last police officer nation on the planet. That would be America. So the leadership in America is trying to cause enemies, trying to get enemies that have the weapons to destroy America to do exactly that. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, in this particular video, or it's actually a video, but it's a picture here, shows what the Chinese are doing, encircling Taiwan, doing these military exercises. The island, this was last week, is surrounded by 9 destroyers, 71 fighter jets, missile launchers. Taiwan is on high alert. The Chinese military exercise will last 3 days. These are the things that nations do before they go to war. These are saber rattling. This is a shot across the bow. This is 2 very big, powerful nations, Taiwan, China, and America, getting ready for war. Next headline, Russia's Pacific Fleet placed on high alert for snap drills. What's a snap drill? In other words, we at any time can say, get ready for war, and you better be ready for war. You better have your rifle, your pistola, or your big nuclear weapon, whatever it might be, ready to go at a moment's notice. That's a snap drill. That's not saying, okay, in 3 weeks we're going to have practice. A snap drill is now. The entire Russian fleet was put on high alert Friday for snap drills that will involve practice missile launches. Practice missile launches. In other words, we are practicing to attack America. Who else are they practicing to attack? No one. The goal of the war games was to test the capability of Russia's armed forces to mount a response to aggression. In other words, are you ready to attack America? The drills will also involve nuclear-capable strategic bombers. Remember what Dmitry was told, the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America. Started by the communists. Some of the people start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America in 1 day and 1 hour. So great riches will come to naught. Then God will raise up China, Japan, and many of the nations. They'll go against the Russians. They'll defeat the Russians. They'll back the Russians to the gates of Paris where they sign a peace treaty, but they make the Russians their leader. Under the leadership of the Russians, all the world goes down to attack little Israel. Israel can't count on the help of the Jews in America, so she cries for Messiah. Messiah returns on the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth. Let's go on. So they're demonstrating their readiness. NATO, Kaliningrad, April 16, says NATO is preparing for an attack against Kaliningrad. Now, I need to say he could get no other sources to confirm this, none. So this is not confirmed, but in past, Hal Turner has been pretty accurate, which is why I felt it important to go ahead and put this out. He says NATO is preparing for an attack against Kaliningrad. Well, where's Kaliningrad? Okay, well, here's Russia, right here. Here's Ukraine, Belarus, which is buddied up with Russia. But look at all these flights. This is over the last 3 months. All of these flights around Kaliningrad. So they're saying, we're going to take over a relatively small piece of land. We'll try to execute the maneuver with a surprise attack in 1 single day. And then NATO will start blackmailing Russia, saying, you pull out of Ukraine, we'll give you back your Kaliningrad. Russia invaded Ukraine. We have an obligation to do this for Ukraine, and it's only fair that Ukraine gets something back in return since Russia won't agree to negotiate. Now, we do not have that confirmed, so it's something to watch. Let's move on. Russia sends troops to put down Kazakhstan uprising as fresh violence erupts. the red horse is riding. We are seeing wars popping up every place. Russia's Putin signs decree on routine spring conscription. Okay, so now we have China is calling up more people. We already know Russia had a call up, but now they had a second call up of more people. Russia is getting ready to attack America. China is getting ready to attack America. North Korea, if I get to that article, is getting ready to attack America. Iran is getting ready to attack America. Let's go on. Ukraine president posts petition for U.S. nukes on Ukraine soil. And last week, AlternateRadioShow.com put a picture on his website of an M1A1, I don't know if I have that article, so I'll just tell you, an M1A1 Abrams tank on Ukraine soil. That's supposed to be a red line. Russia says you bring in tanks into Ukraine and we will attack them. Now it says Ukraine president posts petition for U.S. nukes on Ukraine soil. Russia suggests that they would make preemptive nuclear strike. In other words, you move nukes or you move M1A1 Abrams tanks into Ukraine and we will attack them. A potential Russian petition on a preventative nuclear strike could come in response to any initiative to transfer U.S. nuclear weapons to Ukraine. A petition calling for the deployment of U.S. nuclear weapons on Ukrainian soil has been issued. The Russian petition is in favor of the immediate preemptive use of Russian nuclear weapons. In other words, anybody move nuclear weapons onto Russian soil, and of course I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, they could sneak them in. No, they can't, because Russia has scalar wave. Scalar wave goes right through water, right through the soil, and it can see anything in the air, on the surface, under the surface, be it land or water, any place on the globe. They can see the center of the earth. They can see everything with scalar wave. I think that's the reason Russia found all that oil, because they can see through scalar wave where the oil is located, and they can see where America stores their military weapons, specifically their nuclear weapons. They can see all of that. They can see everything in the underground. Consequently, they know where our weapons are. They know when we're moving things. So, we're defeated. Americans are defeated by Russia, in my opinion. Intel, U.S. military deployment orders issued. So now America is quietly issuing deployment orders going to the Middle East. Or is it really Ukraine? Flash, NATO peacekeepers to enter on side of Ukraine. So now NATO is openly saying we're sending boots on the ground into Ukraine. That means that basically at this point, NATO and Russia is already at war. Now, if NATO is involved in the war, so is America. Actually, we're already at war with Russia now. You remember the dream? I've read it, or the vision actually. It was an angel vision actually from Dmitry Dudman several times about the Russian bear would get angry and more angry and more angry until finally he'd grow big and strong with purpose and violence, until finally, in my opinion, NATO decides to go fighting against it, and it was like fighting off a bear with sticks. In other words, NATO is just going to get overrun by Russia when Russia decides to do it. UN warns risk of nuclear weapons use higher than any time since the Cold War. Russia is warning you. Russia plans to deploy its tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. Russia suspended its participation in the New START treaty. In other words, Russia is very close to declaring war on America. The U.S. stops exchanging data on its nuclear forces. When two nations stop talking, that's when the fists start flying. Same thing with back in the high school days. Two guys start hollering at each other, that's one thing. But when they stop talking, that's when the fists start falling. Kremlin is ready to threaten the world with nuclear apocalypse. Guys, these are fighting words. Update. Russia has adopted a new foreign policy in which the West is declared as an existential threat to Russia, meaning the West is a threat as to whether Russia is going to exist, and Russia is now willing to use nuclear weapons on a first strike. Now, they've been willing to do that for 10 years, but here they are again saying, look, guys, we're getting angry. Okay, it's like a diamondback rattler. Now, you folks in the North might not understand what they are, and fortunately, I've never been around one, but I've seen them on TV enough, and that's the closest I care to get one. But if you start getting close to a diamondback rattler snake, it has a rattle. And it'll start rattling that rattle, letting you know you're making him mad. You're getting too close. If you don't stop, I'm going to bite you. That's what Russia is doing to America, really into the world right now. She's got that rattler going, but we're not paying attention. Why? Because evil people in control of America have been given permission from the high courts of heaven to take out America. Revelation 18. Let's go on now. I got a lot of these. I don't even think I can get through them today. 50,000 North Koreans depart for Ukraine. China creates 500,000 man PMC. Pyongyang gets nuclear technology and cruise missiles. Are you looking? We're talking about World War III not only has started, but it's ramping up. This would be a good one. I'm way over time here. A good one to pause and read. China and Russia aimed at military reinforcement. North Korea. And somebody sent me a video of North Koreans and how they are prepared. These guys are ruthless. They are deadly. You don't want to meet them on a battlefield. You know, our news wants to act like North Korea is not a problem. That's wrong. North Korea is a big problem. They are awesome, ruthless fighters. 800,000 filled out an application to voluntarily enlist in one day in North Korea. There's a reason we stopped fighting the North Koreans. There's a reason. Because them is some rough fighters. I've run out of time. Let me say again, thank you for your gifts. I'm going to end with this. I strongly suggest that you consider calling cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Having some gold and silver is going to be very, very important. You don't have to do anything. Just call them and say, you know, they can give financial advice. I can't. Call them and say, look, here's my situation. What do you think? Next thing is I would suggest you go to josephkitchen.com. You're going to need some food. Before this thing's all over, you're going to need some food. Most of these long-term storage foods, $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do it for about $1,000 a person. Also, I'd recommend you go to empshield.com. They got devices there so that you can put them on your car and your house. And when a nuclear event happens near you, hopefully they will keep it from frying your car and your house. Next thing is we do now have a full household, a full stock of Berkey water filters. So you might want to consider getting a Berkey water filter. Also, you want to get some extra filters. This guy down here, the Crown, is the one that I have because you can put up to 8 filters in that rascal. I have 8 filters in mine. You can filter water for the whole neighborhood. In my opinion, Berkey is the best water filter.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year. At Joseph's Kitchen, our goal is to help you live a more healthy and prepared life. Our products are ready for everyday use, but are also designed for long-term storage. Whether you are looking to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread, or want to be sure your family is prepared, Joseph's Kitchen is pre-packaged to take all the guesswork out. We personally test each harvest to make sure you are getting the highest quality ingredients.
Are you and your family prepared for what may lie ahead? At Joseph's Kitchen, we are your farm-to-table alternative. Go to josephskitchen.com to order today. And be sure to use the promo code on screen to receive your free gift. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.
Terry Saka, cornerstoneassetmetals.com. The world seems to be falling apart financially. Why should they call cornerstoneassetmetals.com today?
Well, the FDIC insurance fund is now empty. Not only is it empty, it's at zero. So now all bank bailouts are going to have to come from taxpayers. This could result in trillions of new currency notes being printed. The more they print, the more inflation we're going to have, potentially hyperinflation, and we need to protect ourselves away from that dollar.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Go online or give them a call at 888-747-3309. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. You don't have to get anything today. Just give them a call and say, hey, here's my situation. What do you suggest? Also, I want to recommend you get my Watchmen package. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I got them right here. In this Watchmen's package, you get 2 of these 2 foot by 3 foot big charts. Okay, that's one chart. Let me show you the other chart here. And here's the other chart. So these great big charts, 2 foot by 3 foot charts, and they are they're vinyl. They are very nice. Put them up on the wall, 2 foot by 3 foot, and I've got them right here. Of course, it's just 8.5 by 14 charts, so I can refer to them. But if I had a wall a little closer to me, I'd put these up here. Also, you get my handwritten book of Revelation. This is where I hand wrote out the book of Revelation all the way through it, all of the scriptures, and I memorized it. Now, all of this has all of my notes in it. Here, let me pick a page that has some notes. If you see out in the margin there, it has notes. What I think these scriptures are talking about. And then, last year, I did a School of the Watchmen. And it was like 18 hours, I think it was. It's on 5 DVDs. We're putting all that together with 5 copies of my very powerful book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. It's valued at $355 for a gift of $200. You get both charts. You get the 5 discs. You get my book and my book. My book and my book. All for a gift of $200. Very, very good deal. Also, I recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get all 5 of my books. And I didn't write this one, but I did organize it. You get How Pre-Trib 1, Daniel, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, Miss the Mark, and you get 1 set of each of them, which is actually 40 books for a gift of $100 at prophecyclub.com. And if you don't have this right here on your car, you'll want to get it. This is an EMP shield device. This one goes on a car. All you have to do, it's simple. They have videos show you, but you just put the black wire on the black side of your battery. The green wire attaches to the body of the car, and the red wire attaches to the red side of the battery. And then the back peels off. You don't even have to put any holes in your car. Back peels off. You stick it someplace under your hood. Takes about 10 minutes for us people that are not mechanically inclined. Probably people mechanically inclined more like 5 minutes to put it on, and then you're good to go. If you'll go to empshield.com, put in the promo code PROPHECY, you get a $50 discount for everything that you order there. Good deal.